Okay, so we're going to take a look at one way to debug what's going on underneath the hood of an ASP.NET web application. What we're looking at here is your typical error screen, and in this case we have a not implemented exception. Oh knows it happened. But the goal here is to figure out, well, how did this happen? And one of the tools that I'm going to go ahead and use is a utility called SpeedTrace, and I'll actually go ahead and bring it up here right now. And some of the actually key functionality of it is to go ahead and attach itself to a ASP.NET or other .NET processes and to record kind of what's happening underneath the hood. So in this case I have a workspace that's open, and I'll just highlight right here. I've got IIS Express hosting my web app in a that's been compiled in a release build, and then of course I have the host configuration that goes ahead and supports the app to get us up and running. So actually I'll go ahead and do that right now. Let's go ahead and activate the project. And what it's done is it's brought up IIS locally, and let's go ahead and navigate to the site. Bring that over here, and we'll go ahead and take out that page. You can see that it's now requesting for the root of the site. It does a simple hello world, and the site is up and running. But really we're more interested in the oh no's page and what that exception, what that error actually looks like. So some key functionality that we're going to be using is the data trace functionality. I've already activated it on the project, and you can kind of see where the mouse is hovering. I've enabled the data trace. We have a bunch of other different triggers that can be used, time or methods, to go ahead and start the activation and recording. Those are some more advanced functionalities. We're just looking at something kind of basic here. But let's go ahead, and respective to SpeedTrace, let's go ahead and actually start the recording. So now that we're actually kind of doing the work attached to the process, let's go ahead and bring up that error page. Throw nasty error. The error has actually happened, and SpeedTrace has recorded it. So let's go back to our application and do the stop recording of the application, and you can see over here on the left hand side it has the actual things that happen underneath the hood. So clicked on it. Let's go ahead and look at the bug trapping analyzer. We'll give it a split second for it to go ahead and read the output file and build the interface. Okay, it's gone ahead and done that. There's actually some great functionality in this tool. You can look at most top called functions, most work. If you're working with a big .NET app or really keen on your .NET performance, this is a fantastic, spectacular tool. But the thing that we're really most interested here is actually this trace. So I have the trace window open, and let me just do a search. Nose, find next. Okay. And what it's done is it's found the first instance of nose, and it's brought us to this little block of code. Oh, and what you can see here, actually we have this throw not implemented exception, method, and we can see, let's go down in here, we'll expand this out, and there we go. There's the actual exception that occurred. So we're kind of seeing this stack trace working our way back up to the top of the stack. We have this exception here. We have this throw not implemented method. We have this get nose and get O's and then page load. Just as well too, we go ahead and we can see the actual function arguments that went into these two separate methods. So in this case, throw not implemented took oh knows as a string input, and then as well with actually a variable called foo, and then the not implemented exception took a string called message, and it's a length of 23, and oh knows it happened. As you can see, let's take a look at some of the other methods that are here. We have, let's see here, an actual return value called knows. And what I'm really just trying to showcase here is the some of the great functionality for using the stack trace feature. You can go ahead and see the entire stack that occurred with an application request. You can go ahead and see the function arguments column here to say these are the actual inputs to what went into the method, and then as well too you can actually see what the return values were as well. So let's go ahead and actually look up and down the stack just a little bit. We can trace our way from the return value up to the actual get nose. That was called within page load. We can percolate up to the actual processing of the requests. Then we can look at system web hosting pipeline runtime. But what you can see is we're actually navigating away from the custom application code that we wrote out into something that did not belong to part of our project. So if you have third-party DLLs, third-party applications, other method calls, if you can go ahead and basically call it, you can kind of see what's going on underneath the hood. So rather than taking the guesswork of what is this application doing or what is my code having at runtime, you can record it, spend your time, go through and see. So if you have to reproduce, this is just a great utility. So let's go ahead and actually just take a look at the nose again and just take a look at this one more time real quick. We go ahead and we can see the actual function inputs. In this case, oh knows it happened, and then we can actually see the return values. So great visibility on the inputs and outputs. So let's go back and let's open up Visual Studio and take a look at the source of this application. In fact, I think I might be able to kind of screen split here just a little bit. Let's navigate some of these screens around. So just what we can see here, we have the not implemented exception. So this is actually where it was thrown from. And if we look at the source code, this is pretty much, well, not pretty much, it is exactly what happened. So we have the not implemented exception, and then we have the input, 23 characters, oh, it knows it happened. Let's jump back over here to back to the Visual Studio, and you can see exactly what's going on. Just as well too, we have page load, and page load calls get O's, get knows, and then throw not implemented, and well, that's exactly what we see going back over here in the source code. Get O's, get knows, and then we can see throw not implemented. So again, a great utility that goes ahead and gives us a clear line of visibility of what's happening in your .NET web app or really any other .NET application that you're able to go ahead and do this profiling with. But for large complex environments where you're trying to figure out what happened, what were the inputs to certain methods, what were the criteria, as a developer, it just simply makes things so much easier. One source of the truth, and it's saved me a lot of time. So something that's really nice. So anyhow, SpeedTrace Pro, if you have any questions, let me know.